Do you have any fond memories of that match? How was it working with Zeus and bringing him into the business? Was he like totally? I've seen some of his cameos. He's real religious now. Do you still talk with Tiny Lister? How was working with him, bringing somebody totally new into the business? I'm assuming, and they just put him into a role for one match basically, and that was it.
Well, Tiny had done that No Holds Barred movie with Vince had actually produced it a few years before that. So and there was tons of wrestlers in that movie. They shot in mostly in Atlanta, tons of guys in the movie. And Tiny. I had known Tiny. And I was there while they were doing the shooting, and he was a great guy. He was, he was a monster. I mean, this guy's, they put him in like a 4 or 5 inch heel. He was already 6'7" or something. I mean, he was 7 foot tall. He weighed 310, 320. I mean, you'd be looking at him like, just, he was a skyscraper, big guy. And we had to take the guy into the ring. Okay, he was an actor, but it's a whole different ballgame taking a guy that big into the ring to do a pay-per-view, to do a live TV shoot. There's no big delay there or anything. There's no doing over stuff, So Tiny came in a day before, and we walked him through. We spent several hours in the ring with him in Tampa, walking him through the match. We laid it out very, very simply, things that we knew that he could easily do. And but he was still nervous as hell. And we kept doing stuff like to try to calm him down. And one thing we would always say it would make him laugh and stuff was free James Brown. We'd say that to him. And he would smile and relax, and I mean, he did an incredible job in the first match. And then we didn't know that they were going to bring that back in the cage. And then we brought it back in the cage, and that steel cage with those bars. I mean, yeah, it's easy to climb on, but man, you can't. The old cages, the Hurricane Fence, you can run and jump into it and bounce off and all that. Not that cage, brother. It was like right. It was all steel. It didn't give. If you ran over and hit your head, you were sliced open to to the bone, bleeding. You had to be so careful.
Yeah, the old school blue bar cage, as opposed to some of the cages they use now.
One and only time I ever was in a cage like that, and I hated it. Made it easy to climb up on and work the climbing up and down on the cage thing, and the guy come over and grab you and throw you off, and then you go scampering up the cage. But it was almost too easy to climb, so you could have been over the fence, over the cage in a heartbeat. That thing was so easy to climb. So you really had to slow it down when you got to the climbing over the cage, or you'd have been out 10 times over during the match. So
right,
Tiny did an incredible job, pulled off the impossible, and never didn't screw up even one time. Made everything look great, and I mean, just the reviews and everything, people loved it. And it was a mitzvah, bro. We pulled off the impossible, not once, but twice. Getting Tiny in there and doing tremendous match.
And then it was actually a third